Ever wonder what it's like to carry your concealed pistol in one of the smallest holsters ever made? In this episode, we will review a holster so minimal you will hardly believe it's possible. As always, I buy each product RBB reviews, and after testing each one out, I tell you about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So stick with us as we review Essential Holsters, the Naked Holster. Welcome back to RBB. If you're new here, consider subscribing so you don't miss any upcoming content. Essential Holsters is a military veteran-owned American company. In addition, the Naked Holster is made in the US of A. It's built through the 3D printing process as one entire piece, and there are enough details in the design that might leave you impressed, but I hope the designers of this little wonder keep pushing for a few upgrades in the future. The belt clip on the Naked Holster is fixed, which means it will not adjust for elevation or cant. The raised checkering at the top of the clip is an interesting feature because should you draw the firearm and have only one hand available, and the belt clip fails to hold on inside the waistline, the checkering could be used by the trigger finger to push the holster away from the trigger guard. Not sure whether this technique was on the company's mind during the design process, but it is another way during an emergency to clear the holster from the gun one-handed if needed. The belt clip's hold on pants with a drawstring was fine as long as the draw cord was inside the belt clip. The holster came away from the firearm each time. The Naked Holster's hold on the gun's trigger guard was solid in the model I received. After a week of testing that included at least 75 draws from the holster, the hold remained, but there was a little wiggle that developed. With few exceptions, this is a common trait that occurs after moderate use, and is nothing to worry about as long as the holster doesn't continue to loosen further. It is possible to attach the Naked Holster to the firearm incorrectly, especially on the Glock models due to the square trigger guard. When put on upside down, the fit might seem good enough to make the holster ambidextrous, but I warn you, it is not. For safety reasons, including the gun coming away from the holster inside the belt line when worn incorrectly, only use the Naked Holster for the carry hand it is intended for. Additionally, there are raised striations on only one side of the Naked Holster which acts as a tactile index of which way is correct to pair the holster and the gun. As far as modularity goes, the Naked Holster isn't a Swiss Army knife. And let's be honest, when a holster goes for absolute minimalist, you can expect it will slosh around in the waistline a little more than most because there isn't much to stabilize it in place. In this case, the Naked Holster is built for one purpose only, to be an almost non-existent trigger guard holster with a belt clip for inside the waistband carry. I could see where having a Naked Holster in reserve for those unforeseen times when your primary Kydex holster loses an important screw or your leather holster gets soaking wet and needs to dry. In those cases, a spare little holster that fits your gun would be a useful backup which could sit quietly in a pack or carry system for just in case your primary becomes unserviceable. As far as value, I paid about $30 in 2023 money for the Naked Holster. That's a little pricey for a trigger guard holster with no ability to modulate, such as using a lanyard or aftermarket add-on like a claw. I would put the Naked Holster in the same class as the Raven Concealment Vanguard 2, which is a holster we have already reviewed, but from a modularity standpoint, the Vanguard 2 is the hands-down winner. However, as an interesting piece that shows what modern 3D printing is capable of when a classic design is executed very well, then the Naked Holster could be useful as a conversation piece too. Plus, you get to keep saying, naked, while only talking about a holster. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you right back here soon on ranges, backstops, and berms.